What is going on, Governor? Chisgule here, and man, we're about to make some last-minute preparations for Alliance Battlegrounds. We've got some respecking to do. Thought you might want to be a part of it. We've got to switch around our Minamoto from very much being a fort and barbarian smashing build to being a pure PvP Alliance Battleground build. And we also are going to take Richard the First, who is currently our garrison captain with these insane talents. We're going to retalent him to be an infantry commander for open field combat. And that is because we're not too worried about our city being attacked in Alliance Battlegrounds. And look, if it is, we've got a plan. Our plan is to use Kusunoki as the primary garrison commander. And Kusunoki's in a great place. Kusunoki's in a really great place. We're probably actually going to put Sun Tzu and Kusunoki on the wall. Little AoE mayhem. And I honestly love the rage restoration that we can get here. So I feel really good about putting Kusunoki on the wall and having Sun Tzu as the backup for Alliance Battlegrounds. Our Sun Tzu's got the expertise skill unlocked. I actually haven't decided yet who I want to use with Richard in open field, and that's kind of weird, but you know, I got some choices here. One is to say I'm going to use Sun Tzu, and even though there's not really a lot of synergy with this fourth skill doing extra damage, I love the rage restoration that's here with Sun Tzu. I love that Master Strategist is going to reduce the amount of damage taken, which is very, very powerful in a unit that's doing a lot of healing and already is reducing damage a ton. I actually think Sun Tzu might be my leading choice. I also think Joan of Arc is really interesting if what we're making is more of a supporting unit, which realistically, like that's kind of what Richard the First is doing. He's very tanky, but like your enemy, if they're attacking you, like they're just doing it wrong. Why would you attack Richard the First? You just walk somewhere else. Just go somewhere else. What are you accomplishing attacking a Richard the First? You should always be attacking a DPS unit. So whatever. We're going to make him tanky, and I think Joan of Arc would be really good for buffing all of the nearby units, and with Richard the First, like, they're not going to die very easily, so they actually can stay around, and there's Rage Restoration, which I really like. Another pairing that I'm very seriously looking at is Boudica. Boudica, that's right. Boudica's great. Boudica's doing damage, which is good. Like, look, you got to kill people in Alliance Battlegrounds. You need to do damage. It's reducing their rage. It's healing as well, which is huge synergy with Richard the First. It's restoring rage, which Richard really, really needs. I like Boudica as a pairing. I'll probably test out all three or some combination of those. But let's start working on these builds. And I'm very confident on my Richard the First build. So we're going to make that swap first. Now with Richard the First, the thing that we're really looking to do is rock a full infantry build with some amount of the defense tree supporting it. So we're going to hit reset. We're going to confirm. And, you know, if you were trying to make a similar build with infantry, I would say that the rage restoration and the movement speed, and you see I'm getting these movement speed talents now, are absolutely crucial. You got to be able to get to the fight. If you can't get to the fight, you can't fight. So I think those are really crucial. I'm actually also going to pick up Fleet of Foot in a moment. But we're just going to make our way all the way up to the top. So we can reduce march speed, we can get that movement speed, and we've got the rage restoration. Now, I probably well, I don't know, if you're doing full infantry, you probably already have them at a decent level. But this Burning Blood is really huge. And at some point, you got to go over there and pick that up really early on in your build of this commander. For now, we know we're pretty much going to be maxing out this tree. And that's in part because, like, look, every one of these points is so good because we're going to have a full infantry army. At least we're going to try to. Bada boom. And honestly, for some of these top talents, you really must have a full infantry army. Oh, man. That's so nice. So many stat points. Okay. Now, the other thing we really want to pick up is Testudo Formation. And along the way, there's more march speed. And that is absolutely crucial in a huge map like the Alliance Battlegrounds. So we're going to make our way over there to Testudo Formation. And we've got a max level Richard the First. So, we've got a lot of talent points to work with when we do this. All right. There's our march speed. There's the required talents, and there's our Testudo Formation. Now, I said I really care a lot about march speed, so to that end, do I want 6% more march speed for 3 points? Yeah, I want the speed. And then we're going to head over here, and 2 percentage points of stats for a single talent point investment is insane. That's so good. So all 3 go there. Now, from here, it gets kind of interesting. I personally really like balance. Huge amount of damage reduction. And look, you're healing. You want to reduce the damage you're taking so that your healing and sustain can outpace your enemies. So I'm all about what's happening in Testudo Formation. We could have made our way, perhaps, to no weakness, which is 6 points for 1.5% reduction. It's an interesting idea. It's an interesting idea. And also, 1.5% attack. But by going the route I went, well, I don't know. I'm going to pick these guys up, I think, as well. 1% attack. Or no, so 1% health and 1% defense. I mean, that's all so on plan with what we're trying to do. The other route I could have gone, instead of getting balance, and the other reason I really like balance is if you're getting hit by multiple armies, you're just getting huge value. Like huge, huge value, and I think that's going to happen. Generally, in the video I've seen and from what I've sort of been able to participate with, people all gang up on the same target, and they're probably going to pick a Richard, which makes no sense. And like you're going to get huge, huge, huge benefits. If I thought I was going to be battling single armies, well, yeah, no weakness will be fine, but not as good as balance. So I'm going to pick up these points over here. And these last 2 points, I can get attack, which I think is fine. I could get a couple points of defense. I mean, I think I want the defense more than I care about the attack, honestly. Like, attack is important. Well, yeah, we're going to make him tanky. We're going to make him tanky. We're going to get the 0.5 point of defense and the 0.5 point of attack. Okay, there you have it. Infantry, maxed. Testudo Formation, a little bit more defense, a little bit more attack. And we're going to try this out and see how we like it. I don't know. Feels a little weird that it's just like, oh yeah, put every point into the infantry tree. But, like, man, those are good. Those are good points. I'm very happy about those. I'm very happy about those. We could have spent, I guess, less points over here and made our way down to loose formation, but I really like the extra health a lot. I really like the extra health a lot. Let's see. How far could we have gone? We could have maxed this. We could have maxed that. Yeah, I mean, it would have been more points. You basically could not have done balance. And we'll see. I think I'm going to get swarmed. It's going to happen. And in that case, balance is just going to be so much value. If I don't get swarmed, I would have been better off with loose formation. And we'll see. We'll learn. All right, so the next thing we need to go do is we need to go crank on our Minamoto. And, he's been our rally leader. He's been a great rally leader. But we're going to switch it up. We're going to have Cao Cao now run as the primary for leading rallies. He's basically got the same sort of build that Minamoto had. But you see, like, he's got all this cavalry stuff, which is really not as good for leading rallies because you're going to have a mixed army. You're going to have a mixed army. So this is not the best, but PvP is our optimization. PvP is our optimization. We're already destroying forts. It's not a problem. So if we get a look here at his, let's see, Minamoto's talents, what I want to do is get the benefit of the Rage Restoration in the skill tree, but then also get as much mobility as possible from the Cavalry tree. And I like the Cavalry tree for charge specifically being very, very important. Very important. And I like a lot of these points in between, and I like the movement speed that you get in this tree. There's a lot of it here, and we want to get all that movement speed. So here's the build we're going to try. And a part of the reason I want to try this is that, the last time I sort of played around with this, I felt like I really would have preferred movement speed, like a little bit more movement speed over a little bit more rage, generation. This is a lot more rage generation, which is why we're going to go for that. So we're going to reset Minamoto, and we're going to do the full skill tree and then supplement with the Cav tree. And when I say full skill tree, I mean only what we need to max out the top talent in the tree. We're not going to pick up the side talents, even though they are very, very good and worth considering. We want to get a lot of movement speed. Now, it's worth mentioning we could have considered going to the peacekeeping tree. We could have considered going to the peacekeeping tree and getting thoroughbreds. And I'll show you that in just a minute. Thoroughbreds and all the talents along the way to it would afford us an additional 18% movement speed, which is really strong. But you're picking up a lot of the stuff on the way that's just like not relevant. So for instance, insight's not relevant, quick study's not relevant, but over here you get 6% more movement speed, over here you get 9% more movement speed, and this first point, well, we're going to get this anyways in a second, I'll show you. So from here, we're going to be moving into the cavalry tree, and we really, almost immediately, and this is such an important talent, possibly the best talent in this tree, honestly, is charge. When your army gets weak, you need to get away to preserve your troops to fight another day or fight 5 minutes later. And so, like, this is a must pick up. I think it's so crucial. Run all calves, get this. It's so good. From here, now we have some interesting choices. I want to get this, and each of these points is really good. A full percentage point of value of stats. I want to get this, and what I think is less exciting is what's on the way here. Do I think Halberd is all that exciting? Nah. Who brings archers? Who brings archers? I guess I can hunt archer units. Like I mean, I should have been doing that anyways, right? Because I'm running cavalry. But so, what I really care about here is the march speed, and I really care about this march speed as well. And I think I can get this as well. And like 1% of just stat points on the way is pretty good. So rather than build off to the side and getting maxed out Undying Fury and maxed out Disarm, which is nice, I'm instead going to make sure I can actually get to fights and get away from fights. So to do that, we are going to snag these points here. We're going to fill this up. And, this is an experiment. This is definitely an experimental build. We're going to grab those off to the side. So by doing it that way, we picked up a ton of stat points for cavalry and a solid 12% march speed. Cavalry attacks, really great. I mean, I'm really happy about everything we've done there. And now is where we've got a little bit more flexibility with the remaining points that we have. We've got 9 points left. I want more march speed. And so I'm going to probably snap off 1 point over here to get 3% more march speed. And I want to get this over here. I've already tried a PvP cavalry build where I got Undying Fury instead, and I was not happy with it. I felt like I needed more march speed. So now we've got more march speed. Now, we've got a level 59 Minamoto, which means we'll have 1 more talent point available after we get the next level unlocked. And, we could get Equestrian Excellence. But what's interesting about Equestrian Excellence is that it's for chasing people down. Normal troop attacks. This means you're already attacking the target, which means you must be chasing them down. And by the way, I'm faster than you already. You're not outrunning me. Unless you've got some special commander who's also now unlocked to charge, then you're getting away anyways. This is not going to be the difference between my catching a target or not. So what's interesting here is what I could do. What I could do is say, you know what I want to do? I could say I want to go and get Dragon Saber, but like half a percentage point of stats. I don't care about that. Not as much as other things. And attack, and I could get like 3 more additional rage after I hit level 60. Whatever. That's not a big deal. But you know what seems really nice? Not that I think I should be the target of skill damage, but reducing skill damage taken by a solid 12%, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'll point out that point for point, it's almost double the value as what you're getting in Heraldic Shield. The other direction I could go, and this is tempting, is to say, you know what? I'm going to do more damage. I'm going to do a lot more damage. And this is like the glass cannon route. Do I want to go the glass cannon route? You know, I might put 1 point into that. I might actually do it. I might put 1 point into that. But I don't think I want to go glass cannon. I don't know. Maybe latent power is the way to go. Boosting my additional skill damage, but I've only got one commander doing additional skill damage. I think I'm going to get attacked. And so what we're going to try out is Emblazoned Shield. We're going to give it a shot. This is a major reduction of damage, and point for point, it's just a lot of value. I'm going to take skill attacks, and this is going to help a lot. So we're going to drop 4 points into it. And if I had 1 more point, I might even just drop it in to here. I don't know, 10% chance to get 5% more march speed. I just don't think I care about it. Maybe latent power, maybe naked rage. Honestly, maybe health of cavalry. So now that we've done all that, we need to set our army presets. What are we going to bring onto the battlefield? And we're going to have to actually do this a little more fully right before we queue up, and we're going to use an army expansion and then set the army sizes. But what we want to do is create the armies we're going to use. So we're going to use Minamoto with Cao Cao. We're going to rock all knights, and we're going to make this our number 1 choice. This is what we're going to be going all over the battlefield with. Our next choice is going to be our different infantry combinations that we're going to try out. And I think I want to try with Boudica and rock full samurai. We'll make that our number 2 build. And if we want to rock Joan of Arc, we can do that. Here we go. Oh, haha, I can't build it now because Joan of Arc is gathering. All right, well, I'll make that combination later. Now this brings an interesting question, which is like, what are we doing with our archers? What are they doing during this battle? And I don't have a clean answer. We do have a Scipio. We could make an open field Scipio archer army. Man, we got to make an archer army. I think we do. This means we're going to have like no troops in our city. So that's a little weird. But I think we need to make an archer army, and I don't know why it just occurred to me that that's a thing I need to do. And I'd love if I could use Kusunoki, but he's my garrison commander. What do we do, fam? What do we do? I think I'm going to have to think on this. I probably want to specialize Scipio a little bit differently. And probably set him up for a mixed army, an open field. I sort of planned, maybe what I do with my archers is support rallies. Now, if I'm supporting rallies with my archers, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to support rallies with my archers, and the thing about that, though, is I still need to have like a nice pairing of commanders to do that with, because eventually they're going to be in the open field, and they're going to be vulnerable to what's out there. So I think what I'm actually going to do for now is set Boudica with Scipio as the secondary and all crossbowmen and make that my 3rd army. And then my second choice army here, instead of Boudica, we're going to use probably Joan of Arc. We'll see. I might switch it around, but that's probably what I'm going to end up doing. Do we need to rebuild Scipio right now? Maybe we do. Let's go look at Scipio. See, Scipio is a great commander. Where's he at? Where are you at, Scipio? Right in front of my face. Now, this was a build we were playing around with for hitting player cities. I don't love it. I really don't. But what I think we need to do now is specialize this commander for open field. I didn't realize that's a thing we need to do. And what I really want is, as I mentioned in my video about Scipio, I want to get Hidden Wrath. I really want to have fresh recruits for open field. We want to set it up to be for mixed armies. I'm not leading the rallies, so that's not a big deal. And since I'm not leading the rallies, I don't really care about close formation. Like normal attack by 0.5% is not all that exciting. I think this is more exciting for having a mixed army. Some reward there. And I need to have 3 types of units. Yes. I also really like Burning Blood, and I also really like Lord of War. I also really like those. So, gosh, I think our third army is going to involve Scipio. If we send a third army. And we're going to for rallies, so he's got to be specialized. All right. All right, so if we reset Scipio, I wasn't expecting to do this, but here we go. Here we go. We definitely want to get these talents off to the side. This is just insane. Our star level is really good on this commander. So that's insane, and the rage is crucial. And I probably want to get effortless. Is there march speed on the way? There is. We're probably going to get effortless. First, though, there's some things we got to do over here. I really want to get this march speed and get the talent over here. So we're going to grab everything over here. Okay. There's the march speed. And we really want fresh recruits. We really want... Like, am I going to stay in long battles that I need effortless? I don't know that I am. But I definitely have to get this. The march speed is a must. You got to be able to get around the battlefield. Is there a march speed over here? No. There's no march speed. Sadness. Okay. The other thing I'm going to want is to be able to bring more troops. That seems really important. And, like, I'm right here on the doorstep of this. This seems really good. So we're going to grab that. We're going to make ourselves able to bring more troops. That seems good. Okay. Now, what do we do? Now what do we do? We have 12 points. I feel like we have to put 3 over here into effortless. Because effortless is just so good. If the longer the fight goes, the more insane it gets for you in your favor. So if we get caught out, we're in a long fight. We're going to love the fact that we have effortless. From here, we really want to support the fact that we're going to have a mixed army. So I like getting armed to the teeth or armored to the teeth. I like both of them. And the reason I think I prefer armored to the teeth is because this is already becoming like a very tanky army. So I probably would, and I think I can get everything I want, actually. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. We've now got our Scipio set up to support rallies, be in the open field, and, like, look, like, I've got a bunch of troops. But can I fill 3 armies after this battle's been going on? No. Unless I'm healing my troops and using healing speed-ups, like, we're gonna run out of troops. We're gonna get really low anyways. So, I don't know. We'll see how much we end up doing with this, but that is definitely the build I would want to be using. And, like, gosh, should I be upping his skills a little bit using my sculptures? Maybe. Maybe I should have picked up a lot of Scipio when he was in the expedition. So now we go back. We go over here. We hit attack. I mean, let's just call her back, so we can make the actual final thing that we're trying to accomplish here. We'll bring him back, and let's get a look at exactly what we will use. So we hit attack. We're not actually going to attack. So we have our first army. We maybe have a second army. Maybe this needs to be Joan of Arc. Maybe this needs to be Sun Tzu. I mean, I really like Boudica in this spot. I do really like Boudica in this spot, which we can do if we have our other leader be Scipio, which we are going to do. Okay, I like this. So our number 1 spot we have here, our number 2 spot we have here, our number 3 spot is going to be Scipio as the primary. Remove him. Scipio becomes the primary. Really wasn't expecting to do that. And now our secondary, we have some interesting choices. I think it becomes Joan of Arc, and this just becomes a supporting army in the open field. That actually makes a ton of sense. So we support the rally. We use this troop. We're going to bring some other troop types. Let's see, how much do we want to bring of other stuff? Some samurai and some knights? Like, not a ton. Because I'm telling you, we're going to run out. I'm telling you, we're going to run out. So we just need enough to kind of fill the army. It's tempting to bring siege units just to make sure we have 3 different types of troops, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think this is where we're going to land. We're going to make this army 3 for now, confirm. So this is what we're going to support rallies with. Ton of crossbowmen, a little bit of Sams, a little bit of knights. Samurais, Sams, you like that? I like that. And once this troop returns, and she's on her way, we can have that finalized, and I feel pretty good. Right before the fight starts, we're going to pop that army expansion, set the armies to be slightly higher for our presets. We're going to pop a buff for either attack or defense, one of those 5% buffs, and then we're in a really strong position for this Alliance Battleground. I feel quite good about that. So this guy's almost back. We'll get this final setup just right. Okay. Army 3. Plunk in our Joan of Arc. And there you have it. This becomes Army 3 confirm. Supporting unit, open field, supporting rallies. And look, you only need to have a couple armies. Unless you have 1.5 million plus troops. You only need to have a couple armies on the field, and you're going to take so many wounds. You're going to take so many severely injured units that unless you're using, again, tons of healing speed ups, which I don't think for our matchup makes sense, and I'll explain why in a different video. But you are going to have all those troops get injured, and you're going to barely be able to fill a unit. Like, even I will struggle here after I use my army expansion. After the fight starts, I'm going to have a hard time filling these units with pure infantry and pure cavalry. It's just true. So we'll see how this ultimately works out, and I think these preparations leave me in a really good place. If you found this video helpful, please do leave a comment, like, and subscribe. And until next time, my friends, you have fun. Smash in the kingdom.